Let me introduce the first expert, speaker, and professional from Japan, Ramon Carrillo. Ramon, welcome to start.
Good morning, everyone, which is in Europe. Good afternoon or good evening if you're in other parts of the world. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ramon Carrillo. I'm the Outreach and Communication Officer of the International Tropical Timber Organization, best known as ITTO. The title of my presentation is The Significance of Innovation, Approach to Innovation and Data Collection. However, based on Alex's recommendations, I will also be talking about what ITTO does and what it has to offer to the forest stakeholders. And to do that, let me share my screen. Well, what is the International Tropical Timber Organization? What is our mission? The International Tropical Timber Organization promotes the sustainable management and conservation of tropical forests. We promote the expansion and diversification of trade in tropical wood from sustainably managed and legally harvested forests. ITTO is the sole intergovernmental organization focused entirely on tropical forest resources. A few facts and figures about the organization. ITTO is an intergovernmental organization established in 1996 under the auspices of UNTAD. The International Tropical Timber Agreement, 2006, is a treaty in which the organization currently operates. The membership is, and there's an update, it's 76 members. Canada just exceeded the organization, so it's total 76. Excuse me for the number, because I prepared this yesterday and the news just came in today. We have 37 producing member countries and 39 consumers. Producing members are located in Africa, Asia Pacific, and Latin America, and you have the numbers on the screen. And this represents a coverage of 80% of the global tropical forests and 90% of the trade in tropical forest products. The organization headquarters are in Yokohama, Japan, and you have the website at www.itto.int. What does the organization do? So ITTO develops internationally agreed policy documents and guidelines to promote sustainable forestry and forestry-based enterprise. And these guidelines and policy documents are actually implemented in the field and adapted to local conditions through projects. ITTO, in addition, collects, analyzes, and disseminates data on the production and trade of tropical timber, and is the foremost source of information, statistics, and trends related to the global tropical timber economy. Over the history, ITTO has funded more than 1,200 projects and activities valued at $430 million across the tropics. These projects and activities cover a wide spectrum and are enhancing the capacity of tropical countries to sustainably manage their forest resources. This page is an example of the several guidelines that we have produced over the years. We have criteria and indicators for the sustainable management of tropical forests. We have guidelines for the sustainable management of tropical forests, for the management of secondary tropical forests, guidelines on forest landscape restoration, guidelines on economical, environmental, social, and management guidelines. We have gender guidelines as well. We have guidelines on planted tropical forests, on biodiversity, forest fires, to mention a general compendium. You have the link and the QR code, which you can access if you want to download them. They are all for free, and they're mostly in 3 languages, English, French, and Spanish. In terms of markets, and I'm going to start with the most frequent publications to the ones that take longer to produce. ITTO produces the Tropical Timber Market Report. This is published every 2 weeks. Basically, there are 23 editions per year. The report provides market trends and trade news from around the world and indicative prices for over 400 tropical timber species and value-added products. It's available for free subscription. You have the link there. And back issues are available online since 1996. ITTO also has recently launched a global timber index. It has been piloted for over a year now. It's published once a month and facilitates the exchange of information and data on timber trade and fosters collaborations for building legal and sustainable forest product supply chain. Currently, the information comprises 7 pilot countries. These are Brazil, the Congo, Indonesia, Gabon, Malaysia, Mexico, and China. And there are about 160 enterprises participated in the initial phase. The index is compiled based on data and other information obtained from leading timber enterprises in the countries I mentioned, and from surveys for secondary manufacturers. In the case of primary producers, it presents trends in local timber harvesting and the supply of logs, production of soundwood, plywood, and other products. For secondary manufacturers, the focus is on trend in local timber processing and manufacturing, and covers products such as wood flooring, doors, and furniture. The indices are based on various factors such as production, new orders, inventories, purchasing and sales quantities, prices, employment, and delivery times. An index value above 50% indicates growth in the sector. ITTO also produces the biannual review and assessment of the world timber situation. This is the most reliable international statistics on the global production and trade of primary and secondary processed wood products, with an emphasis in the tropics. It also provides information on trends in forest area, forest management, and the economies of ITTO members. The latest edition was released in September this year and highlights, for example, that the export by ITTO producer countries of secondary processed wood products reached 36.5 billion in 2022, going up for nearly 40% compared to 2020. It showed that the trade in tropical wood products was most resilient in 2021 than anticipated due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It also highlights that the world tropical logs exports increased slightly in 2021 after reaching the lowest volume in 2020. And that the ITTO producer country exports of secondary processed wood products were 3 times higher in 2022 than their exports of tropical primary products. Figures are on the screen. Major importers of secondary processed wood products are the United States of America, the European Union, in particular Germany, France, and the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, Japan, and Australia. There are editions since 1987 of the review, and they're available at the link that you see in this on the screen. ITTO also has a statistical database. This is available from the ITTO website. The link is on your screen, and contains historical data since 1990 on the production and trade of primary wood products. It is a great tool for analyzing the evolution of and long terms in the trade of tropical timber and primary tropical timber products, as well as an important shifts in timber production and further processing. The map that you see is available from the files of the biennial review, which you can download for free. And for example, the one on the screen is showing the float or logs exports. ITTO also has long-standing work on market access, traceability, and certification. We have produced several technical reports. These are called technical series, And they cover several topics such as the impact of timber procurement policies, the uses and impacts of criteria and indicators for sustainable forest management, review of electronic and semi-electronic timber tracking technologies, assessment of major developments in technical and environmental standards selected in major international timber markets, analysis of global trends impacting on the relative competitiveness of tropical wood products, the pros and cons of timber procurement policy, development of forest certification, and many other topics. And from these reports, which are available on the same link as in the previous page, I just would like to highlight the three most recent ones. The first one is called Expensive, Exploited, and Endangered, and it's a report on agar wood producer species. It examines the cultivation, inoculation technologies, and best management practices of agar wood. It reviews wild and planted agar wood resources, processing technologies, products, and regulatory practices. The next most recent publication is entitled Fiscal and Non-Fiscal Incentives for Sustainable Forest Management. This report provides recommendations for designing incentives that can make a difference in the adoption of sustainable forest management practices in the tropics. And the annexes are case studies in Brazil, Cambodia, the Congo, Cote d'Ivoire, Myanmar, Peru, Thailand, and Vietnam. Tropical Timber 2015 analyzes the potential scenarios and examines previous economic and non-economic shocks to estimate the likely time required for the sector to recover to pre-pandemic levels, and what are the estimates for global consumption of tropical timber to the year 2050. Non-only timber encourage innovative and sustainable businesses, development involving non-timber forest products. And also ITTO supported the Climate Investment Funds and the World Bank to publish a similar publication entitled Designing Fiscal Instruments for Sustainable Forestry in April 2021. When I talk about that ITTO develops policies and guidelines and we implement them in the field through projects, I would like to highlight something that might be of the interest for this audience, and that is timber tracking projects. So ITTO has funded the establishment of timber tracking systems in Cameroon, Ecuador, Guatemala, Panama, and the Philippines. There are videos with English subtitles for the cases of Guatemala and Panama. You see the links on the screen. And in general, the timber tracking projects have advanced sustainable forest management and nature-based solutions. The projects have helped by strengthening the capacity of forest companies to control their flows of timber. They have improved efficiency across the supply chain. They also facilitate the monitoring and control of forest products by the authorities and thus contribute to combat illegal logging. They improve forest governance and ensure the legality and sustainability of harvested timber. The projects in Guatemala, because we're having a succession of projects, the latest ongoing project has released an app to calculate log volumes requiring only photographs and a few simple measurements, making the process even easier and more efficient. The app at the moment is only available for app stores in Guatemala, but you can refer further information at the link provided on your screen. ITTO is also working currently in 4 pilot program lines. These are on legal and sustainable timber supply chains, conservation of biodiversity and ecosystem services, forest landscape restoration and resilient livelihoods, and emerging issues and innovation. In terms of the legal and sustainable supply chain, ITTO launched a free online course in 2021 on legal and sustainable supply chains. It contains 4 modules. The first is sustainable forest management. reduce impulse logging and forest landscape restoration. The second is on timber legality assessment. The third is on meeting legality requirements for ensuring sustainable outcomes. And the fourth has to do with marketing for expanding and maintaining forest businesses. The course highlights sustainable use of forest resources, which are sections for protecting biodiversity and maximizing the contribution of forests as nature-based solutions to climate change, and help raise awareness of sustainable production and consumption, which is the Sustainable Development Goal number 13. To conclude, I just would like to mention that, as we all are aware, the sustainable management of tropical forests, forest-based enterprises, and international tropical timber trade add value to tropical forests, while improves economies and livelihoods. And this ensures that the forests are maintained, the forests remain forests for future generations. There are a lot of market regulations, and recently these are requiring proof of sustainability and legality of timber, for timber and for wood products. That means that there's an imperative need to improve data collection in the forest. But let's be aware that in order to do that, the processes need to be efficient, simple, and reliable, and they have to be accessible at a low cost for forest holders. As a sector, we need to better marketing and communicate the multiple benefits and competitive advantage of sustainable timber and wood products as environmentally friendly materials, including those climate-related benefits. And as we all know, accurate data and information are key for decision-making in both public and private sectors. Before thanking you for your kind attention, I would like to show a 1-minute video of the timber tracking project in Panama. The version that you see in YouTube is longer, so this is just a trailer. And after that, I will be happy to take some questions because due to the time difference, I cannot stay to the end of the panel discussion. So I will appreciate if the...
Yeah, Ramon, I think we have five minutes for that.
Okay. So can the video be played directly from your side?
You can try to share your screen.
Okay, so hold on a second. I will stop sharing and then I just will open the video.
It's really interesting to see live projects, how it goes, you know, in different locations.
Los problemas de los recursos forestales no se puede estar usando una forma desordenada y ilegal. Utilizando los datos que obtienen del campo, el sistema le procesa toda esta información, le produce los mapas, le produce las estadísticas, le producen los volúmenes y todo. Pero va a saber de dónde está el árbol y la madera viene del lugar que dice que debe venir. Es una forma de buscar de que las comunidades o los tenedores de recursos puedan tener condiciones de mejora de vida. Con esto aspiramos a tener un buen control de la tala ilegal. Tenemos plena fe de que va a ser lo mejor para el sector forestal de aquí de Panamá.
Thanks, Ramon, for sharing. And it's really great to see that innovations there, you know, so spread it even, you know, on these locations like Guatemala, Panama, not only, you know, in Europe or in the United States. That's really great to hear. And okay, so Ramon, thank you very much for your presentation, for your time. Let's keep in touch, and I think that in this they can contact you later. Of course, we will share contacts of all the speakers for the attendees, so if they have some questions after the conference, they can contact you directly. And welcome to see you again.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you for the audience for their kind attention, and I will be happy to answer any questions in the coming due course. Wish you all a very nice event today.
Thank you. Thank you, Ramon.